Benjamin, this is so unfair.
Terrible. Literally terrible.
You know, last week we were spoiled. We had a day. We rolled around that city like kings. We recorded 2 eps together. It was just, we got that skin to skin. You know what I mean?
We were also just like young kids, basically teens playing hooky.
Yes.
Going around the city, having bizarre lunches, very small, not too filling. Weirdly, we each had like 3 ounces of salmon the whole day. What are we, nuts? And then we went cold plunge, steam room, sauna. I don't think collectively we've ever been more relaxed in our whole lives. I'm sure our blood pressure, we could have died from being so relaxed.
And now, that's the most Jewish thing I've ever heard. I'm worried I'm too relaxed. It's being this relaxed good for you. But now, what is it? It's like we're in prison. You know, it's like we're talking through the partition on visitor day.
I know. Prison pen pals. It's very, very sad. I can't reach over and touch you. If I do, smacked away. Smacked away.
If you were in prison, let's say, what do you think? Who you rolling with? Because obviously you're gonna have to roll with the others because the whites, they want no part of this Jew. So what's your day-to-day look like in the Hoos Cow?
How long am I in for?
3 to 7.
3 to 7.
Let's be honest. It was a finance crime.
It was white collar.
Some made off shit.
Here's the truth. The truth is, if I'm in there for 3 to 7 for something white collar, I'm getting out in 6 months stops.
Sure.
I'm getting out of there. I'm finding a nice way. I'm going to befriend the guards, the warden. He becomes my best friend. Yeah. You know, we're boys. We're boys. So if it's that short of a sentence, I'm befriending nobody but the warden. I'm afraid every night that I'm going to get shanked, but I know I'm going to be out in 6 months. If it's longer, let's say I can't befriend the warden. Let's say the guards, they turn on me. I am doing anything and everything I can to get in with the gang. I'm going to become a gang member. If they need to put a tattoo on my face, that tattoo is going on my face because ultimately I pledge allegiance to the gang of this prison. Because I got to survive, right? Survival of the fittest. Got to do what you got to do. Got to do what you got to do. I would definitely work in the kitchen.
Yes.
I would love to just like make the burgers, make the sloppy joes.
It's not.
I don't know how inventive the menu is there.
Camp, Ben. Stir
I'm
up
gonna
the bug juice.
the meats. I'm gonna make the stuffed cabbage on Saturday.
I'll be the one taking in the care packages.
It's so funny. What about you?
All right. So look, I'm gonna become, just like I love having a guy, I'm going to become everyone's guy in prison. So I'm going to be like, Rick, I got my wife putting money on my books. What can I get you? I know you don't have a loving, family support system, but let me buy you some Domino's, some Doritos, or like Terrell or Dan, do you need, a book from the library? Then I'm going to turn my radiator into a stovetop. I'm going to start making ramen dishes. I already get really creative with different ramens. Sometimes I don't put the water in it. I don't make the soup. I drain the noodles. I put in that MSG seasoning pack, a little butter. It's like a prison cacio e pepe. There's going to be a line outside my cell, and not for the obvious reasons.
I love it. I'm in. I need cigarettes. You're going to get me cigarettes.
We're going to be smoking cigs. I'm not going to be hooping drugs because I don't do them. But yeah, cigs, vape juice, maybe some Nutrafol. If your hair's falling out, I'll get that for you. Use our code GOODGUYS, even if you're in prison.
You need hero bread in the clink?
Logan.
No, I'm not having your bread. Only 5 grams of carb stops. None of your Wonder Bread.
First of all, it's 5 grams of protein and almost less than 1 gram of sugar.
Thank you. My apologies. Only no sugar. I want no sugar and no sugar in my bread. How long do you think the sentence needs to be for Paige to divorce you?
I would say divorce me ASAP. I'd give her full carte blanche. I'd be like, don't wait for me. I'm not waiting for you. I'm getting it on in prison. No,
for sure. But if you get sentenced What do you think? There's no way she stays with you, right? No way.
Of course she'll stay with me.
See, there you go. Interesting.
Of course she'll stay with me because it won't be much different than how we are now. Love you, babe. She'll probably be like, oh, thank God. A break.
Oh my God. Literally the second I got brought into prison, my marriage is over. It's over. It's over. We don't need that kind of publicity. It's done.
But in reality, I don't like, is Claudia, your lovely wife, dying to go canoodle or go out on the scene with another man? I don't think so.
No, definitely
She'd
not.
wait
It depends
for you.
on what I did, though. Depends on what I did, though. If I did something that damages the reputation of the family, the same way that you said that you'd just cut ties, you know, if I could save her in the process, I would. And I think that if she could save herself in the process, she would.
For sure. Claudia is looking out for number one.
It's pretty good that we are on the straight and narrow, though. We are the good guys. We're not going to prison anytime soon.
I think...
Because honestly, I couldn't survive in there. I couldn't do it.
It reminds me of a funny story. Maybe it's... Now I'm realizing it is funny, and maybe that's because I watch too much TikTok, and I'm a ridiculous person, but I'm on the side of TikTok where there's this guy who's a firearms instructor. His name's Mike, I think. And he talks about the proper way in which, when you're being pulled over, to put a police officer at ease. And so he always puts his hands, when he's pulled over, outside, like opens his window and puts his hands outside and just kind of shows them, you know, as the cop's rolling up, like, here's my hands. I'm not grabbing, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The other day, and I'm not proud of this, I got pulled over. My son was in the car. What?
What'd you do?
I looked at my phone. It's awful. And you know what? I'm ashamed. And my son was in the car, so I said, okay, listen, I'm caught. I'm going to show him how to be respectful. I'm caught. I did it. There's no argument here. And I think I'm the only person who's ever pulled over for a cell phone ticket and put his hands.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Out the window. Oh my God.
You were ready to go. Honestly, you manifested being pulled over. You were too excited to stick your hands out the window. You had it coming.
I was checking my GPS stupidly for a couple seconds too long, and it was funny because first the motorcycle cop rolls up and he goes, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, I follow Officer Mike on TikTok. But he's like, he even apologized. He's like, hey, we got a big cell phone ticket mandate, so I got to give this to you. Sorry. And I'm like, go for it.
I was gonna say, because you're not a text and driver. You love a voice note. Mm-hmm. You love a 3-minute long voice note when you're in the car because you're not a texter. I can't believe being pulled over for GPS is real BS. It's real BS. But look, law enforcement's got to do what they got to do. Speaking of which, speaking of guns, I told you that I went and participated in a skeet shooting tournament in San Antonio 2 weeks ago. Did I tell you about this?
You were on your way, so tell me more.
Oh man, I started off absolutely terrible. I went 0 for 20. Big shotgun. I don't shoot guns. I'm not, New York doesn't have guns. We're not a gun. It's foreign to us, completely foreign. And it's funny, I'm like talking to the guys that are there. I'm like, this is the first time I've ever shot a shotgun. They're like, you don't have this in New York? I'm like, have you ever been to New York? There's no shooting range.
Right.
And if there is, I want no part of it. I'm just letting you know, if there is a shooting range in New York, I want no part of it.
There is a shooting range, but it's outdoor and it's called Brownsville.
Yeah. No part of it. I want no part of it. But I started off 0 for 20. It was honestly hurting my shoulder. All of a sudden, I got an incredible tip. It was these 10 different courses, and you're shooting different, like they show you the clay birds, and then you shoot them in the sky. And this guy gave me a tip. He said, lean forward, tuck your chin in, put it up against the wood, get ready to shoot. Next round, guess what I did?
10 for 10.
8 for 10. 8 in a row. Boom, 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 boom.
Hell yeah.
So I'm just saying, if I went to prison, I kind of take it back. I said I wouldn't survive in prison. Oh, I'd survive. I'd survive. I'd become a kingpin. I'd be him in prison. I'd be him with my huge shotgun. Oh, man.
Growing up the wonderful girl's guy that you are, and, you know, very open and in touch with your emotions, do you feel like when you do something, let's just say classically masculine, like a skeet shooting competition in San Antonio, is that intimidating for you? Are you nervous?
Life doesn't happen bi-weekly, so why should payday? The money you earn can be in your hands today with Earnin. I know that many of you consider me a celebrity, and I consider myself a celebrity too. You know, we're on the same page with that one. But I also am a man that is in corporate America. Every 2 weeks, wait for your paycheck. When's it going to come? Is it going to come on Thursday? Is there a holiday? Is it going to come on Monday? Who knows when it's going to come? Earnin is an app that gives you access to your pay as you work. How amazing is that? Up to $100 per day or up to $750 per pay period. Just download the Earnin app and verify your paycheck. Then access up to $100 a day as you work and leave an optional tip. As money you access plus tips are automatically repaid from your next paycheck. If I needed something like Earnin, this is exactly what I'd use. Make Earnin a part of your financial routine and join Earnin's over 3.5 million customers who say things like, when I think about Earnin, I think about financial stability, security. It gives me a lot of peace of mind. Download Earnin today. That's spelled EARNIN in the Google Play or Apple App Store. When you download the Earnin app, type in Good Guys under podcast when you sign up. It'll really help the show. Good Guys under podcast. Subject to your available earnings, daily max, and pay period max. See earnin.com/TOS for details. Earnin is a financial technology company, not a bank. Bank products are issued by Evolve Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Today's episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by Dreamland Baby. Go to dreamlandbabycode.com and enter my code GOODGUYS at checkout to receive 20% off site-wide plus free shipping. This offer is for new and existing customers. Guys, I love being a parent and I love sharing parent tips, hacks, if asked, not unsolicited, but I love when you find a product that works great for your kiddo and you can share that with someone. And sleep, as we know, is so important as a parent. And that's why I love Dreamland Baby, because their weighted sleep sack makes your baby feel like they are just in a cocoon of joy, of dreams. And I'm not kidding you. Since we've employed this, we've always been a sleep sack family. But since we've started using this beautiful weighted sleep sack, my son's shy. He sleeps longer. He's more comfortable. It's a better sleep for us. And it's great. It's super easy to use. There's like a two-way zipper. So diaper changes are fuss-free. The materials are quality. And it's washable because you want everything to be washable when you're a parent, but it's really great. And the technology is CoverCalm, which evenly distributes weight from shoulders to toes. And that's exclusive to Dreamland Baby products. So go to dreamlandbabycode.com, enter my code GOODGUYS at checkout to receive 20% off site-wide plus free shipping. This offer is for new and existing customers.
It's definitely just weird. I'm not nervous, but it definitely was like, where the hell am I, and how do I make sure they don't find out I'm Jewish? Like if they find out, I'm toast.
Right.
But they didn't find out. I guess I blend in too well, and I was totally fine, and it really was great. I had a great time. I got to do more things like that. Get out there. Have you ever shot a gun?
I've probably shot, 50 times in my life now. And so I feel like,
wow.
Yeah, try me. I'm actually not telling people to try me. But I'm protecting the out of my house if someone ever breaks into my house.
Noted. No more disputes with you. Noted. I mentioned to a friend of mine that's from Texas that I went skeet shooting, and he said that he like grew up like shooting rats and like weird, like that's what they did in Texas. Like if you grew up on a farm, you'd like shoot like the vermin.
Right.
That would like, and it made me think this rat czar in New York really should carry a shotgun. Imagine there was a guy trained to shoot rats.
Unbelievable.
What could possibly go wrong?
Eagle eye, sharpshooter.
What could possibly go wrong?
The rat contour. Yeah, it's a wild thing. You know, I think every hunter and anybody who really likes shooting, what they're hoping for is an invasive species, right? And in many cases, it can be the wild boar, because I believe historically the wild boar was brought here like in the 1700s. It was an animal that was not native to North America, and they've since spawned and overpopulated, and they basically like ruin crops and do the whole thing. Or coyotes can be this way. And so sometimes a guy will get tasked to put down a couple dozen of these guys. It's not nice. It's not right, but they're invasive. They're messing stuff up for people. So I don't know. I'm sure they're just waiting for the call. They're like, get to use my skills.
The New York version of that, us using our skills, is the spotted lantern. When you were here, you saw them everywhere, right? These nuisance flies, or you didn't see them?
I didn't, but I see them on TikTok, and they look terrifying.
So we have a crazy spotted lantern problem. And everyone in New York, the second you see them, we're jumping on them. We're killing them, but with our feet.
Yeah.
Again, you don't need a shotgun for a fly. But we're killing them with our feet. They are dead everywhere. And the craziest, scariest part, they come from China. They came here. Originally, they couldn't fly. They couldn't fly. 1 year later, they're flying.
Stop it.
1 year later, they're flying. They're mutating.
They leveled up?
So the question is, what the are they going to mutate into next? If they learned how to fly within a year, what's next?
Floating boats. Underwater?
Underwater.
Maybe they get...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to learn how to do.
They grow...
Maybe my taxes? You think we could train them to be accountants?
They change their names to Herb. They become the official mascot of H&R Block.
H&R Block lays off all employees, hires 2 million spotted lanterns.
So as we were saying, you know, recently at the VMAs, Justin Timberlake came out with the rest of NSYNC. I told you I'd get us back on track, gals. We know our audience, goddammit. What's going on? And now they were just on Hot Ones. I don't know if you saw today, I think it premiered. They're doing stuff together. They've never done stuff together. This seems like something's coming. What's coming, Ben?
All I gotta know is the other members of NSYNC are so happy. They're like, finally, Justin returned our calls. Like, they can't believe it. Like, they're punked. And something's certainly coming. I was thinking the exact same thing. Maybe they're launching a tour. Something's happening. Didn't Justin Timberlake sell the rights to his music recently?
I don't know, but it seemed funny. I was listening to your lovely wife and her, little niche show, The Toast, and she was saying that it seemed as though, I'm not going to quote her verbatim, but just that Justin Timberlake over the last few years has gone through a more like challenging, less popular time, and it seems like he's trying to regain some of his supremacy with this move.
I'm not 100% sure. I would like to make sure that this is right, but I remembered hearing that Justin Timberlake sold his personal catalog for $100 million. I think this was like 3 years ago. And if that's not true, then everything I'm about to say has no basis. But if it is true, and I think it's true, Marshall maybe let us know. Then I think that he needs to make more music, and he needs to make more money, and he needs to have purpose, and he needs to do something. And I think touring, like, everybody's looking at what Taylor Swift is doing, and they're thinking to themselves, I could put some butts in seats. Did you see Adam Sandler just announced a tour?
No.
Yeah, I think this is like, maybe it's also post-COVID getting involved. People want to tour. Adam Sandler is on a comedy tour. I couldn't believe it. Like I looked, he's playing in California. I'm very upset. It's a full West Coast tour, but there were like 20 dates. And I was completely shocked because Adam Sandler certainly doesn't need any more money. I think people just want to get out of the house. They want some of that star power back, like seeing the fans live. And I bet you NSYNC's launching a tour. That must be what it is.
And as we all know, there's nothing better than comedy music. Oh, look, he's taking his guitar out. This should be good. Well, you know, it's funny you mentioned Taylor Swift because, you know, recently there's been this news story going around, and I wanted to know what you think with this guy, Travis Kelce, who's a football player. And he says that apparently the Chiefs' star tight end, he plays for the Kansas City Chiefs, finally broke his silence on rumors that he and the 12-time Grammy winner are dating during an appearance on the Pat McAfee show. And he doubled down on shooting his shot with Miss Swift. He said, I threw it out there, referring to his previous plan to give Swift a friendship bracelet at her concert in Kansas City. He said, I threw the ball in her court. I've seen you rock the stage in Arrowhead, and now you have to come see me rock the stage in Arrowhead and see which one is a little more lit. Yikes, Kelce. So we'll see what happens in the near future. What do you think about this, Ben?
What do you think? I want to hear from you first. What do you think?
I think it's a lot of pressure to date the most famous person on earth, and not and for good reason, because she's massively talented, she's massively wealthy. But it's intimidating to start a new relationship with anyone and to shoot your shot. But with the most famous person alive, I don't even know. And I would love to know how you would approach going on a first date, hypothetical, with Miss Taylor Swift.
Well, Claudia would certainly let me go on a date with Taylor Swift. That's like 1,000%, no question. But first, I don't know. We haven't heard anything from Taylor Swift on this. So for all we know, this could be a complete concoction of Travis Kelce.
Sure.
And again, I don't know Travis Kelce. I'm sure he's lovely. I don't know Jason Kelce. He seems lovely. But they both have a podcast, right? They're very in the media. They're very outspoken. They're certainly smart. They're smart.
Good thinking.
They're very smart. I just think that there's some PR ability to this, certainly. And I don't know. If I know anything about Taylor Swift, it's that she likes to keep her relationships pretty close to the vest. So I would think that actually this would be a huge deterrent for Miss Swift, which leads me into, if I was dating Taylor Swift, I would keep it completely anonymous. Anonymous, you know, whatever Taylor wants, Taylor gets. And then all of a sudden, maybe you would leak something. Maybe I would text you that me and Taylor were at a restaurant and you'd call the paparazzi. And I'd say, I have no idea how the paparazzi got there. I have no clue. It wasn't me. I had nothing to do with it. It wasn't me. But Taylor Swift seems to like to live low-key and then write a song about how terrible the person was. So I wonder what she'd write about me.
I would be nervous. First of all, my go-to first date was always something active, right? So movies, I actually think movies are a good first date. It's how I took my beautiful wife. We went to go see the movie Twilight. So I wouldn't take Taylor to go see Twilight. We all know why. But I feel like sometimes inviting someone out to eat it's very intimate and it's very one-on-one. And if you're anything like me, you're not going to enjoy what you're eating. You're worried about the way you're eating. You don't want to have your mouth open, blah, blah, blah. So I'm always like, let's do something active where we don't have to stare into each other's eyes. We can people watch. So for me, it was always like, let's go on a hike. You know, let's go walk around Venice. Let's just go like look at cool stuff and be distracted and get to know each other that way. But you can't. You like literally can't do that with Taylor Swift because everyone's going to be looking and/or there's going to be paparazzi. So then you have to like take her out to eat, and like maybe you could take her to like a little, you know, greasy spoon place that's off the radar. But if I'm like, hey Taylor, I want to take you to Carbone, but can you call? Because like I'm not getting the res, like, but you'll get the res. Like, what do you do?
I went to a pretty amazing Italian restaurant last night that I told you about that we need to go to.
You went to Emilio's?
I went to Emilio's last night.
Damn, was it awesome?
It was awesome. And what was so awesome was just the vibe. Like, you walk into the restaurant and that's not the restaurant. Sure, the plebeians eat in the front, but us celebrities eat in the back. And you go to the back, you push away the curtain, all of a sudden you're just in like this back, like it feels like a warehouse. Like they have like bottles of wine to the ceiling and that's where they're pulling from. The food was delicious. So Taylor Swift, you know, if this happens to come across your desk and you need a reservation to Emilio's, I would be more than happy to take you.
That's a good move.
I would be more than happy
maybe
to
you
take
her
you.
to
The food was really good.
Maybe you take her to the Schwitz and the cold plunge. She could be into that.
She could be into that. But Emilio's is good. We'll go. You'll really like it. It did remind me of something, though, and it was something that you said that I heard like 3 other Jews say recently, which was, oh, yeah, classic red sauce joint. When did we become mobsters? Like, what, like when classic red sauce joint? Where did that even come from?
That's so good. And I retract my statement about taking Taylor Swift to the Schwitz because I'm sure she would ask halfway through our steam room voyage why I'm wearing a shirt. And I'd be like, don't worry about it, Taylor. I'd be like, get used to it. It's not coming off. Okay, I think I have a couple good speak pipes. Should we get into?
Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, let's rip them.
By the way, if you want to leave us messages, it's a link in our YouTube description, but go to speakpipe.com/goodguys. Leave us a message. We'll talk about it on the air, on the show, if it's a good question and or you need a little advice. Here's Ellie. Ellie. One day I'm going to get this right. The problem is I play them and then I have to refresh the page. What, Ben?
No, I'm just saying, and if you said if it's a good speak pipe, leave it for us. And if it's a bad speak pipe, please stop sending them.
Yes.
There's too much to filter through.
100%.
Hi guys, I am looking for some advice that's not for me, but for my husband, who I know listens to this podcast. Coincidentally, his name is Ben. He is definitely a P-John. But our first wedding anniversary is coming up at the end of October, and as really phenomenal, experienced husbands, the two of you are, and, you know, Ben and Claudia just had their 6-year wedding anniversary. The first year is a big deal, and I have to say I have high expectations for our first anniversary. I think he knows what he's going to get me for a gift, but could the two of you speak to him, Ben, and give him some advice or ideas of things that he could do to celebrate or, you know, plan to celebrate our 1-year wedding anniversary? For background, we have been together for 12 years. We're both 26 years old. And we live in a house together and have a dog. And it's great. We love our lives, and it's phenomenal. But I just know he might not be thinking ahead that much because he has other things. Anyway, I'm talking too much. Thanks. Bye.
All I have to say is, Ben, Ellie's Ben, not my Ben. You got your hands full with this one.
Especially because whatever we tell him, you're going to hear. He's going to know. He's going to know, which is why, Ben, you need to go down on this woman. No, I'm just...
Oh, my God. Wow. I mean, yes.
Yeah, of course
that's the answer to everything.
First wedding anniversary. What should you do? Look, again, we've been left with no context, Josh. We don't know where they live. We don't know how much money there is to spend. I love spending other people's money, but I need some context. Are we going to, is Applebee's the big night out? Are we getting the $20 for 2 entrees? Delicious. Mm-hmm. Delicious.
Yes.
Or are we going to, I don't know, P.F. Chang's? Who knows? All I know is my advice, treat her well because she'll be very upset if you don't. And think of the little things. Maybe write her a card. Cards always go over really well. That said, if you get her an expensive gift, you're going to be getting expensive gifts forever. And every single year, the gift needs to be bigger. So don't shoot your whole load now. Settle in. Strap in.
Strap on.
That too. That would work.
Yeah, right? Throw her a curveball. Hey, maybe this, but you and... no, you'll never recover from that. No woman wants to see their husband that week. I gotta say, and I'm gonna talk to Ellie now, because Ben, I believe in you. Ellie, we gotta relax. let me tell you, and I get it, and I don't want to criticize, because if milestones are your thing, they're your thing. But as we've talked about, Ben, you and your wife, me and my wife, they're not our things, because life is one big anniversary, and little things every couple of weeks, just a nice refresh, a reminder, hey, I love you. Yes, every now and then you buy her a $7,000 tennis bracelet. I love you, Paige. Hope it was a good Mother's Day. But more so, I just think it's important that we manage our expectations for these things that I think have mostly been created by the movies and TV and by Hallmark. And I think it can give us overblown expectations for what is otherwise a great 364 days the rest of the year.
You brought up something that I think is so important, which everyone should do if they don't. Unexpected presents are so much better than the expected huge ones on these very made up days. Again, that's not to say we don't celebrate our anniversary. We absolutely do. It's important. We love it. Same thing as a birthday. But we're also not the biggest birthday givers either. We like to give on random, maybe this year's Hanukkah present is huge. To your point, I can't wait for Mother's Day. That's so fun.
Yeah.
Just another day to think of something cool and creative. But I much prefer I saw this and I thought of you. That's so much more special than the expectation of what's coming on a specific day.
Let's listen to our next Speak Pipe.
Hi guys, I love the podcast. I'm calling in from New York. I am 30 years old and I am starting a new job at a high school as a social worker. A little backstory, this school is gigantic. There's about 2,500 students, so there is about 10 social workers at the school. So I'm calling about advice on how to not get bullied and made fun of by my students. I was never bullied in high school, so I'm hoping that these kiddos are not mean to me, but I can't help but think that they are going to, make fun of me and make fun of my shoes or clothes or hair. Just any advice would be great. I know it shouldn't matter, but, these little rugrats can be tough sometimes. So I just want to, try to get them to like me and, do some good work while I'm there. Thanks, guys.
Damn, this girl sounds mid. No, I'm kidding. Just trying to prepare her
I was
for...
just about to say, what a precious woman. Look.
No, she sounds... This woman is spectacular. We love you. She didn't mention her name. We love you.
First and foremost, what the hell do you give a shit about these little schmucks? Come on. It's not... You're worried about being made fun of by little Bobby, who's 8. Fuck Bobby. Bobby says something to you, knock his teeth in, and then blame it on the other kid.
They're high school kids.
It's fine.
High school, though.
Yeah, right? The kids get bullied. Teachers shouldn't get bullied. I've actually never thought about this, but I guess, we all made fun of our teachers, especially the weird ones, but you don't sound weird. You're 30, you're young, you're hip. They're going to think you're super cool, but don't try to be super cool. That'll get you bullied. What's that? I'm trying to remember the actor. There's that famous meme where it's hello, fellow teens. I'm forgetting who who's that actor?
I don't know.
Is it Steve Buscemi?
Yes.
Yes. If you guys know that meme, then you'll know what I'm talking about. But so don't try to be them. But yeah, be a cool, wholesome teacher. Acknowledge that you're on TikTok just like them. We see on TikTok, there's so many fun videos of the teachers making cool dances with the kids in class. Be cool, but don't try too hard.
Yeah, and especially, again, don't try. I think that's like the big thing. Be true to thine own self.
But as a social worker, are you really interacting with, like, how does a social worker interact with the kids at a school? Isn't she typically dealing with just the troubled teens, or am I misunderstanding the role of a social worker?
Well, I think it's God's work. I think it's like a quasi heightened guidance counselor. But yeah, to your point, I mean, I think there's probably, when you're talking about this many kids and this many social workers, there's probably kids who are dealing with financial insecurity, unstable homes, lack of means, and to be honest, it's probably, and I've heard this from a friend who taught public high school, that it's probably kids dealing with a lot of shit that kids shouldn't have to deal with. So I think keeping that in mind is important.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking, like, you're not going to get bullied. You're going to be loved. Like you're doing like an amazing thing, helping kids that need help. Definitely. And if anybody bullies you, again, just punch them in the face. Trip them.
Wedgie, swirly. She'll definitely get bullied.
Just put a pack of cigarettes in their locker and call the principal.
They're definitely going to talk crap because kids that age can be rough. But do you have your what are you nuts moment?
It's more of a what are you nuts to everyone except for me. We are at this beautiful juncture in Judaism between Rosh Hashanah, Happy New Year to all the Jews, and to those non-Jews that listen. You know, I'm willing to convert you. There's it's very easy. I'll put a link in the YouTube description and I will convert you, and that's fine. And you can have a second New Year. It's great to have 2 New Years. Next week is Yom Kippur, which is widely regarded by everyone, including my wife, as the worst day of the year. The worst day. 25-hour fast, have to go to synagogue, no water, no nothing, no electronics, nothing. And all I got to say is, if you think this is the worst day of the year, what are you, nuts? It's the best day of the year. Let me tell you why. Skinny? Oh my God, you pop out of that thing 2 pounds lighter. Second, you pop out of that thing eating bagel lox and cream cheese. It's unbelievable. 3, shutting your phone. Do you know how unbelievably freeing it is to shut your phone?
Educate our non-Jews about what Yom Kippur is in that 24-hour span, in case they don't know.
Yom Kippur is where we have a day of repentance, where we say sorry for everything that we've done maybe wrong over the last year. And we don't eat, we don't drink, there's no water. It's a nothing fast for 25 hours. You spend the day in synagogue and you come home to a bountiful feast, because everything in Judaism is surrounding a bountiful feast in one way or another. And shutting your phone for 25 hours when you're in your early 30s and lead a stressful life is the most freeing thing in the entire world. Like, so unbelievable. And to really spend a day, at least for me, thinking about things that I wish I did better last year and things that I'm going to do better this year, all concluding with a gorgeous feast. That's an A+ day. So if you don't like Yom Kippur, what are you, nuts?
I love that. I love it. Quickly, what's the dream Yom Kippur spread for the said breakfast?
It's just fresh bagels and all of the accoutrements that come with that. Lox, cream cheese. I personally like a scallion cream cheese.
Oh, yeah.
Also, if it's not whipped, what are you, nuts? I don't like this block. If you're buying Philadelphia cream cheese, by the way, if you're buying Philadelphia, don't invite me to your house. Don't invite me. I don't want to see the brick. I don't want it. If you're going to be lazy and get something from the grocery store, get Temp Tea. If you had Temp Tea, the nice whipped pink bottle, or maybe even a Philadelphia whipped, but that brick, don't invite me. Tuna, whitefish, all of that stuff is just fantastic, and I absolutely love it.
Gorgeous. And then a sweet offering. I like all of that.
Oh, yes.
I want a nice babka. I also want some deli sides, maybe a macaroni salad, maybe a coleslaw, but I want like babka, Danish, a cookie assortment. My mother, God bless her, and my wife, God bless my wife, I'm very lucky. My beautiful Irish Catholic wife threw us a wonderful Rosh Hashanah party where we had over the mishpucha, which in Yiddish means family. And my mom came and she had Venero's,
Wow, amazing.
the Italian bakery Venero. She had, shout out Goldbelly. We love you, Goldbelly. She had cookies flown in, some of my favorite little Italian
Wow.
cookies, and pies from the Little Pie Company in New York sent in for the occasion. Beautiful.
Wow. What a mensch. Unbelievable.
Thank you, Barb.
And you did send me a gorgeous photo of your beautiful sons on Rosh Hashanah wearing some beautiful yarmulkes. And I was plotzing.
Thank you. I love you. They love
was
their Uncle Ben.
It was beautiful. It really was. What's your what are you nuts?
So my what are you nuts moment, and it happened to me today. I go to Equinox. I don't mean to brag. I'm doing well. No, it's an incredible, shout out Equinox. It's an incredible gym. All of them. Everyone I go to.
By the way, how much more incredible would it be if we got free memberships? I'm just saying.
Let me do some things. I might be able to do some, just don't.
Really?
Don't worry. Listen, I might have a guy and or a girl. That's all I'm saying.
Wow.
But I love Equinox. It's just the best. So shout out Equinox. But you know what? There's an issue with gyms, and it's called the people, the members. Okay? Listen, a gym is for doing your workout quietly. Do it and get out. Get on your elliptical machine. Get on your treadmill. Do your bench press. Do your curls. Quietly in your own little zone, listen to your podcast, listen to Good Guys, whatever. You want to socialize? Hey, Diane. Hey, Kareem. What are you doing? I'm doing yoga. I'm over here getting it in, blasting my lats. Cool. See you at the smoothie bar. I'll buy you a creatine shot. But don't make the gym your playland. Okay, what are you laughing at?
Blasting my lats, and I'll see you and buy you a creatine shot.
That's how I roll. I'm on
If anybody sees Josh at the gym, do not approach.
I like a little small talk, but not much. Just a quick. But I'm telling you, there was a guy there today. Do not treat the gym like your home office or your own. Like, there was a guy, and I'm not kidding you. Do not build a circuit in the gym. Do not build your own stations where like you're running around the gym, going from workout to workout. Don't do any weird shit like turn the pull-up bar into like some crazy American Ninja Warrior obstacle course. Just do the classic workout and move on and do it quick. Don't take over a section and do weirdo circuity Instagram reel things.
Yeah, what are you nuts? What are you nuts? Yeah, the people at the gym are crazy. They're crazy.
Meshuggah.
That's why I don't partake. That's why I don't partake. For that exact reason. I don't want to get roped in with the nuts. I don't want to. What are you nuts?
I miss you. What an episode this has been, Ben.
I miss you more. It was a fantastic episode, as every episode is, really. If you're not loving the Good Guys, what are you nuts? 5 stars, rate, review, and subscribe. Wherever you listen to your podcast, watch it on YouTube. I'm just saying, you really miss a lot when you don't watch it on YouTube.
So true.
You miss a lot. Watch it on YouTube, and then listen to it again, and then recommend it to a friend. Maybe pick up your friend when you're on your way to the grocery store and just put it on and say, what do you think, friend? This is my favorite podcast. Maybe you'd love it too. Recommend to a friend. And yeah, great episode. Always wonderful catching up with you.
Love you. Love the
you
listeners. Promo code Good Guys. Use our sponsors. And maybe one day Ben will do the ad reads, but there's no promise. He doesn't get them in on time. No, I love you.
I'll do them next week, I promise.